Hi, my name is Chris Erics, aka Baby Trump. You've seen me a lot, probably the last 2 to 3 months. I'm not going to apologize for that. I'm here to explain to you what these babies behind me have done for me in less than 90 days. I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer May 17th of this past year. I turned down chemo and radiation to do Coriolis versicolor in forest mushrooms, take 5 in the morning, 5 at night. In 3 weeks, in only 3 weeks, my tumor shrunk to a third, my immune marker doubled. 56 days later, I was cancer free. My tumor shrunk to 5 millimeters by 4 millimeters. Take care of you and take care of your pets with Inforce Coriolis versicolor.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Flexies. Man, I love to now get my voice out there. It is louder, it is stronger. I'm having fun with it. I never, I had faith that it was going to work and that, I'd get my voice back. Um, but thank you, Cameron Lowe. Thank you. There were some other people that I worked with in Las Vegas with their machines. I'm looking into a red light mat that I lay on. So I use that in Vegas. I'm going to be talking to a gentleman about that. I'm going to bring him on my show and bring another gentleman on my show that I used his equipment in Vegas, and literally within minutes, my voice was booming. So yeah. With that being said, a couple things going on. Yes, I was in Vegas. I was not at the Super Bowl. Calm down. Everybody's freaking out. No, I did one better. It was the VIP parties. I walked the red carpet. I don't know if you guys saw, but Paulie Short came up to me at the Wynn Casino. I had my back turned, and he asked me if I would be on his Instagram. I said yes. Took a picture with him. That was pretty cool. Hung out with Robert Cavalli. First fashion show ever at the Wynn. But guys, it's so crazy. The message is getting out there. I stepped out after the fashion show with Robert Cavalli, and literally, as I stepped out to take a phone call, people were like, "Oh my gosh, there he is! There's Baby Trump!" People started coming up. It was crazy. So we're at 5 or 6 people, then was 10, 12, then was a line. And, Robert Cavalli is behind me with his model going, who's this dude, Um, I had an absolutely great time. You know what's kind of sad? I was telling my buddy this. The athletes, the former, the present, the other people that, I walked the red carpet with, they treated me better than the influencers and the people that are the wannabes in the Truder community. I just want to let you know that Robert Cavalli, who say whatever you want, Italian designer, I've known him from the 2000s when I modeled and danced. That dude put his arm around me, talked to me the whole night, VIP, caviar, shrimp, treated me like we knew one another. Spoke to Nick Cannon, met Nick Cannon's sister. And it just goes to show you that you say what you want about these people, but man, I judge people by their fruit and the way that they treat me and the experiences. And let me tell you, the way they treated me is a hell of a lot better than 90% of what the wannabes, and that's what they are. They're wannabes in this community. So I just want to let you know about that. And just had an absolute great time. So I will be speaking PPN April 13th. You want to come out to that? They'll be in Nashville. Get the tickets. I think they're on sale now. I will have my merchandise. I will have the mushrooms with me as well. Little testimony, just a little. My brother called me yesterday. Cholesterol was 217. I think a couple of months ago when we were in Arizona, 152. What? 152. I have a testimony that's going to blow Linda away, or maybe not because she's so used to it. And I'm going to bring her on in a little bit. But I'll be in Arizona. I will be in the Florida Keys. I'll be in Nashville. And then I'm working behind the scenes on 2 events. So, guys, got a lot going on. Thank you so much for your prayers, your continuing texts, your phone calls, and just prayers for my girl Deborah out there that is going through something. And hopefully you guys had a great Valentine's Day. Look, if you're not loved and you don't feel loved, I love you. Okay? I love you. So I know that feeling, and that's a crappy feeling. So let's bring Linda in. Hello, Miss Linda.
Hi there. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I am good.
So I wanted to talk to you because I was having headaches, and I was having them really bad. And I know there's stress and tension or what have you, or dehydration or a combination. I've been a naughty boy. I haven't drank water whatsoever. I'm going to the gym for 2 hours. Now I just started doing my sauna and stuff. So the last couple of days I haven't had them, but when I was going to Vegas, I had them really bad, and I put the headache on a couple of times, and it worked. It dissipated. It was on the right hand side, right above my eye. It was pretty bad. And I didn't want to take aspirin. So I'm like, you know what? I have this Wave Watch, and I had that on my favorite. So I think it's been 3 days now, and I haven't been experiencing that. So shout out to the Wave Watch. Look, headaches. If you have headaches, could you imagine just going to your wrist and just going, oh, I gotta get mine's charging. I gotta get my coffee too. But could you, guys, think about that. Think about what I just said. I was experiencing headaches. Instead of going to Big Farm and getting aspirin, I went right to my wrist, boop, dialed up headache. Literally took me half a second, put it on, and within minutes, I was good. I was good. So, what do you have in store? What are you going to be talking about today?
Well, we've got National Heart Month. We just had Valentine's Day, and I just thought maybe it was appropriate to talk a little bit about some things that we could be doing for our heart. And everybody needs this, just like you say, you can just dial something in, and it's pretty easy to do. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with something, and I just, turn it on, and a light comes up. So you kind of have a little night light, and you pick your self-care problem, and then you just go back to sleep. You don't even have to get out of bed, just like you say, and shuffle through a cabinet and try to figure out something. So we do have lots of testimonies about the ease of use.
Yeah, I mean, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to tell you. So I figured I'd bring you on my show. But that to me was like, man, this works. Like that right away was like, because that wasn't in my head. No pun intended. It was in my head, right? But to go, I mean, I don't know how simple I can make this for people. You have this migraine, it hurts, boom, you hit a button, and within minutes, it either dissipates or goes away. Now, I had to hit it a couple of times, but so what? I played it like 3 or 4 times while I was on the plane. You know what I mean? And I'd rather go through that than put a medication toxic in my body. You know, so all right. So we talk about hearts, and it's so funny. You know, I did a program, Restart My Heart, that just people absolutely loved. Talked about Control, Alt, Delete, and restarting your heart mentally, and then also in your heart. You know, whether you have a divorce, a breakup, or a friendship that is gone, right? You have to restart that heart. So I love it that we're going on this heart. What would you call it? Heart frequency.
Yeah,
We're using it. I'm using it. Valentine's just happened. So yeah, go with it. So I know we have I said go with it. I know we have a presentation. I'm silly.
so you want me to go ahead and present? See if I can do that.
Yep, go ahead and do that.
Okay, we'll see if we can get this to just jump right in like it's supposed
It's
to.
on my screen. It's on my screen, so that's good.
Is that there? Can you see it?
Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've been talking a little bit about the Wave Watch, and it is a little bit larger watch, but it has to be because there's 1,000 frequencies on it to correct imbalances in your body. And I think I've gotten about 500 different kinds of testimonies out of the 1,000. So it is a lot easier to have one tool than to have many tools. And that's what I think that you might be seeing. People may be having to make some decisions because they are starting to realize that frequencies are more and more important, and we're developing more tools. But some of the tools I've seen are very simplistic, and they might have some kind of a wristband on them and one frequency. Like there's one that you can order, and it's 2 wristbands actually, and one wristband is for calming and the other wristband is for sleep. Or you could order the Wave Watch, a little bit larger tool, and you have 999 other frequencies. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense, Chris?
Yep, I just ran and grabbed mine. I got mine. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I went and got mine.
Oh, okay. Okay. So if you decide to look at the Wave Watch, the website is just wavewatch.com, and it's WAV, Waves and Vibrations. And then Chris has a discount code, Flex100. Just use that and you'll get $100 off the price of it. So if you order it, or maybe you already have it, this is what you got. You're going to get a handbook. You'll get the wristbands, 2 different wristbands, so you can make a choice. You'll get the charging brick, charging cord, a little case to carry it in, and screen protectors. So that's kind of what comes to you when you order it. But of course, I have to always have a disclaimer. I just want to remind you that these are acoustical frequencies, which puts me so at ease, because acoustical frequencies are the sound of our voice. One of the main questions I always get asked is if someone can use it for a pacemaker. We're already talking about heart, lots of heart problems out there, because they cannot use like some of the other tools, like a beamer. You're not supposed to use with heart problems. You're not, anything that's electrical, some of the PEMF things that are more electrical, you would not use those with heart and problems with pacemaker, but you can use the Wave Watch because it's sound. It's the sound of your voice. So in all of this, go ahead.
You're a genius. Guys, do you understand that this is the only watch out there? This is the only watch out there.
It seems to be.
I have to get a hold of Robert Cavalli, and I have to get him this. I have to.
All right.
We'll send it out to Nick Cannon.
And I may have said this before, Chris, but acoustical sounds is still experimental. The FDA considers sounds experimental. That just blows me away because
Really?
what was the first thing? I mean, we were spoke, and in the beginning was the word,
Right,
but
right.
that's still experimental. That
God
just,
said there was light and there was light. Right.
yep. hmm Yep. So we are not considered an FDA tool, and we cannot use the words that we have cured or healed you or anything like that. We do have changes. We have balances change. We have things like that.
Right.
But
Right.
we are trying to let you know that sounds can be life changing. And so, just like we already mentioned, we're going to talk about heart healthy and kind of Valentine's and tips to keep your heart healthy. Well, what I can see a lot on the internet is that you can go and just ask about frequencies for your heart, and you will come up with some ideas like you see on the screen. There are all kinds of frequencies that you can play. And the trick here is it's a tool that can be helpful, but you are going to be tied to your computer, and you're going to have to wear headphones, and you're
Right.
going to have to listen to a sound.
Yep.
Sometimes it is a little bit musical, and sometimes it sounds like a bee buzz. So that's what these are for. Those are those kind of sounds. And they're wonderful, actually, if you have that time. But the Wave Watch, has 999 other ideas, and you don't have to set, and you're not tied to an internet that is full of 5G. So
Mhm.
there are tools, but I just wanted to show you some. Here's another one. So you can work with the vagus nerve and heart palpitations
Wow.
on the line if you have that time. Here's another one, healing frequencies. So what I'm trying to tell you is that they're all over the place, and but again, do you have the time to sit? So what I kind of want to just jump in and say is that we are seeing more and more testimonies. And then beyond that, we're seeing real life experiments and discoveries that they are now showing us about frequencies. And this is one of my favorite ones, and it's all about our heart cells. So this is from Stanford Med with a study. And what they did was take individual heart cells and they introduced a specific frequency, just like we would be introducing with the Wave Watch, or we would be introducing if you're using a different type of a tool. But these are acoustical frequencies, and each one of those pictures represents what that cell changes into with that frequency. So they're saying, this is Stanford Med, they're saying that a change in frequency puts the cells in motion and guides them into place and holds them. So if you're working with frequencies for your heart, it does seem like there's some scientific evidence that
Mm.
it will definitely work. What do you think, Chris?
I look. What's the difference between something to do with your heart and something to do with your head or your nervous system? That migraine that I had, and I don't get headaches. That's how I know it was like dehydration or stress or combination. For that to go away, I don't take that very lightly. So if it works for that, why wouldn't it work for anything else?
You said it. So this is just heart cells. So they should be able to measure changes in anything in our body.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and then just like you, just the fact that your headache went away and you knew you were using the Wave Watch, you're going, okay, what else can it do? So sometimes people have ordered the Wave Watch and maybe they don't see a change, but maybe they're working on something that takes a month, to change. Where if
Hmm.
they had tried, a knee pain or, an ache that they know is gone, then immediately they
Right.
have the idea, wow, what else can it do? So
Yep.
a couple of different ideas there that we can see it visually, especially in these heart cells. We're talking about heart today, but if it's helping here, we would think that it was helping anywhere else. And then I just have to plug my business because I thought this was really fun. 432 Energetics is the name of my business. And that is one of the main frequencies for the heart and the heart chakra. And this 432 frequency helps with mental and emotional clarity. Get that promotion right there, heart, mental, and emotional clarity. Okay. So 432 is also supposed to be, kind of the frequency of the world. So a lot of those frequencies, they didn't label these, but one of them in there probably is a 432 frequency. I'd like to find out which one it is, but kind of fun to see. So that is one of the major frequencies that you will see online when you're looking for heart frequencies. And then when you look at the Wave Watch, we've got all these frequencies, and they're simple, they're cost effective. We're talking about less than $500 to order this, right at that mark, and then it's drug free. You don't have to order it again. There's no monthly fees. It's one and done, It is considered self-care. And Chris, I kind of want to, I put these last two in pink and red kind of for our heart, but just think about how the Wave Watch empowers us. All of a sudden, we know we can do something. We've kind of, learned that maybe we don't have to be so tied to some of our over-the-counter drugs and things like that, So.
Ooh, broken heart syndrome. Oh,
there you go. Yeah. And so really, this is kind of the topic for today.
This is, listen to me. This right here, this broken heart syndrome. I'm going to get choked up.
Yeah.
I believe my mother died of broken heart syndrome. My mother was a very, very cold, coarse woman. Kind of like my ex-girlfriend. Like, hey, I could do without you. I don't need you, right? But inside, they're just dying. When my dad died, within 3 months, she had 3 strokes. Now, come on, man. That is crazy. She had 3 strokes in 3 months. 3 months later, she was dead. They said it was lung cancer. But, I just went through a broken heart. And the stress, look, man, you're up. You're having anxious thoughts. You're having anxiety. You have panic attacks. Your heart is palpitating. I was laying on my mat. I have not a Beamer. I have something better. But I was laying on my mat. And even though I was laying on it, Linda, a couple weeks ago, I could feel my heart. Because it was anxiety. It was my heart breaking. Mm-hmm. I never knew when people said my heart broke what they meant. And I left her. You know what I mean? I left her, but it doesn't matter. When you love somebody and you have that and it's gone and that other person don't even care about you, deleted you out of their life, it breaks your heart. It's not like it's cut in half. Like how you have the pieces like that. It's so fragmented. Mm-hmm. And that's why they tell you to work out, keep yourself active, because the stress on your heart during a breakup, and I'm doing it alone. I don't have family here. I'm trying to make friends now. I'm going to be dating, going out with women and stuff, even just for dinner and movies. I need that nurturing. I need that female companionship, and she don't care anyway, so it doesn't matter. But that broken heart, man, I'm telling you, that's no joke. That is no joke whatsoever. What I have gone through in the last 3 months of a broken heart, I'm telling you, you can watch it on my shows. People said they could see the pain when I was speaking. Just talking, they can feel the pain. I had people wish me happy Valentine's the other day, and they said, you are on my heart. No pun intended. So I want to stop here and talk about this because people don't realize what this does to your heart. You have no idea. And it's a 24/7 thing. And, I didn't realize I could go on here with the watch and and just program it. And then I put it on my favorites right before I went to Vegas. So thank you, Linda. Thank you so much.
Wow. So I think you said everything that needs to be said. You know firsthand about broken heart syndrome. I didn't know they actually had a name for it, because we have said, in our lives, we know you nearly gave me a heart attack. I was worried to death, or it broke my heart. We've all said those kind of things, but they really have studied it, and they now know that, especially longer term, like
Yeah.
I just heard of somebody the other day that was married 55 years, and, one of them passed away, and within just a couple of days, the other spouse passed away. And they have statistics that show there's a 21-fold increase within a day or so after you lose a loved one.
I
So
call
Chris
it the
was
notebook.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I call it the notebook syndrome. Like, remember Notebook? I mean, that was one of my favorite movies. I don't care. Say whatever you want about me. I love it. I don't care. I'll cuddle up with a woman any day and watch it. But if you remember that, they lay in bed and they pass on, together, because she couldn't be without her. And my mom never said, "Oh, I miss your dad." It was nothing like that. But you can tell the toll that it took on her heart. And the ones that are quiet about it, like, I've spoken out about it because I want to help other people that are going through it. And I always say, my pain is your gain. My pain is my purpose, right? My message is going to be my message, right? But it's no joke, man. It is no joke. And sometimes you'll lay there at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, and you don't realize the damage it is doing to your heart. Some of it irreparable.
Right.
Some of it, and it becomes traumatic. And then down the line, you might have cancer. Like, and I think that's what happened with my mom. Like, I think it started with her heart. And then boom, all of a sudden out of nowhere, she had lung cancer. Like, what? What?
And there are statistics on that too, Chris, not just the heart, but there are statistics that after, a major loss or even divorce and breakups, that cancer can, within a couple of years, that could be related to that breakup, to that heart problem, to that loss, whatever, your emotions can also connect and cause cancer. They are saying
that is the biggest thing for me, is to keep it at bay. And not only am I wearing this and doing the mushroom, but like do everything I can to keep that at bay, because I don't want that to come back. And trauma of the heart and the mind, and I see that they coexist. They're tied together. One cannot exist without the other.
So I want to give a shout out to, I found this on the internet, but eehealth.org, I gave them credit, but this information was from them, and I just really appreciate that. So you've already kind of went over these tips, Chris, you said them all yourself. You got to recognize your feelings. You got to manage it with, breathing exercises, meditation, yoga, and you were reaching out and doing tons of things, and hopefully you're, everybody's avoiding drinking and don't smoke, that may be harder to do during an emotional upset. Exercise, you were doing some more exercise, weren't you? And you're always eating healthy. So those are basics. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on those. We need to go deeper, but just to let you know that our heart and mind coexist. Did you do anything else, Chris, that you can think of? You used the Wave Watch, right? And you use your mushrooms.
Oh yeah, the Wave Watch, the mushrooms, and just give it to God, man. Just give it to God.
I should have started with that one first. That one should have been first on the list. Give it to God. Yes.
Give it to God, and serve others. I mean, like you're doing, Linda. When you're serving others, it's so hard for you to put yourself first. It's so hard to sit there, I was sitting here. This will put it in perspective. I was sitting here. It doesn't hit me, or it didn't hit me until I would sit down at dinner. When I would sit down at dinner and I'd be by myself.
So, yeah.
That is when it was like, boom. But then I was like, you know what? How about my mom? My mom, she was alone in the first time in 48 years. 49,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, so it really puts it in perspective when you start serving others. And I get to do that. People allow me to do that. So serving other people, you can't sit there and go, woe is me. Look at me. Look at my heartbreak. Look at this, right? It's no.
I love that
don't.
you said that. Yes, those are the
Yep.
first two things. Prayer and serving others should, actually more important than the exercise and eating right. Those are more important. I love that that came up.
I just had somebody talk about the Wave Watch, and they're so glad. They're personally texting me, and they love the Wave Watch. They're getting it, and for their menopause, and yeah, that'd be great. And they said, "Do you have a good church or pastor?" I just want to touch upon this. Obviously, you guys, I was in Vegas. I don't know if you guys heard about Joel Osteen. First went in and started shooting it up. I just think that's a false flag. That's just, he's going to come back and say, okay, now we have to be against the gun mandate, especially in Texas. But I always tell people that you will find Jesus around people more so today than you will in a building.
Thank
And
you.
so, I was around people in Vegas and I felt Jesus more watching the Super Bowl, praying, just being around them than I did in a church. So you don't have to go to a church to feel Jesus, and you just have to have a relationship with him. The emotion, anger, hate, resentment, man, that will destroy your heart. So what I learned to do, I want to help people out here, is write a journal. So I haven't written a journal. What I've done is I'm doing audio. So whenever I feel like it and it's running around in my head, instead of me calling her, because I've done that didn't work, and email, that didn't work. So now I have no contact. It's over. No email, no phone call, nothing. She calls me, email. I don't bother her. I don't even answer. But I do audio in the journal, right? And what that has done for me is what I wanted to say to her and what I was feeling, I got out. And once I got it out, I was good and I could move on. But
That is huge.
when it is circling around and you can't get it out, and that other person won't let you, which is so evil. I don't care. She watched it. I don't care. It's evil. It's inhumane. Not to listen to another human being, and not care how they feel. That's just me. I mean, if somebody called me up and said, "Hey, Chris, this is how I feel," I'm on that phone listening to them. I listen to people 24/7, no matter what it is. I don't care, because that is what Jesus would do, right? It wouldn't be, oh, I have to protect my feelings. I have to guard myself. No. Somebody calls me. I had Deborah call me about a situation. I call her. I talk to her. So that anger, hate, resentment, it will destroy your heart. It will destroy your head. The emotion combos here, you hit it, man. The panic attack, the sadness, and what happens, Linda? It's a vicious. It loops. It loops, and it might be every 5 minutes. It might be every hour. It might be. What I learned is she sent me a voicemail that is absolutely vulgar, disgusting, horrible, emotional, abusive, and I kept it. And every time I think good or a good thought, I play that and I loop it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking that good feeling that I was having and I'm replacing it with that. And this is the first time that I've gone through this in my life. I mean, I never had a broken heart before, and I never had a woman leave me. I'm not a person that a woman would leave, you know. But I had to leave her, and and the other thing too, Linda, is don't fantasize. Like I was fantasizing, she's gonna call me, she's gonna work back, she's gonna realize I'm gone. Oh, you know what? Valentine's Day, she'll be blowing my phone up. I miss you. I want to be with you. No. Don't even think that.
Yep.
Because when you fantasize, the expectations when it doesn't happen, it lets you down. So what I was doing with her for 3 months is, oh my gosh, I want her to fight. Oh my gosh, I want her to fight for me. And then I would get so excited, dream about it, fantasize it. She wouldn't come through. Boom. I mean, I would plummet. And sometimes, you know, that person isn't capable of that. And you sit there and you go, well, why? It doesn't matter why. They don't want you. You know, I learned this. I will never make somebody a priority when they make me a choice.
Mhm.
If you don't make me a priority, whether you're my friend, my girlfriend, my family member, you ain't in my life. You ain't in my life.
Wow, the things that we learn as our lives progress. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I just
sorry.
had somebody say, Chris, can you talk more about the anger, hate, and resentment? So,
Wow.
you
Well,
know, talk about
I
that.
do want to kind of do a shout out for Kansas City. I am from Kansas City area, and of course, the whole city is in pain. You know, we had a terrible shooting here, and not everybody has these watches, obviously, but I'm hoping that somebody can hear and listen to Chris and, recognize some of these things that they could be doing, or any of us. We have these emotional combos on the Wave Watch. And these actually originally came from plants. So there's a person named Dr. Edward Bach. And in the 1920s, he said the neatest thing, Chris. He said, God gave us all these plants for our physical health. So I know there's something out there that he gave us for our emotional health. And so
Mm,
his life's, work was to figure out which plants would help our emotions. So he basically bottled these up. He took the plants and did some things to them, and they were bottled up. So he has, there would be a bottle for each one of these ideas. So they were 7 different plants together. And then he also has, or his company, the Bach Remedies, there are also 38 different bottles for these particular emotions. And so, again, I'm reaching out to Kansas City and everybody that's in pain. It's everybody. We're all in pain, So if, you can't get a Wave Watch right quick, you could also look at Bach Remedies rather than possibly take a prescription that could be addictive for you already. So these could be something to use. But what's happened with the Wave Watch is we were able to measure a frequency from that plant.
mm,
Everything has a frequency. So instead of having, I have those actually. I have 38 bottles of Bach Remedies, but I now also have the Wave Watch, and they're all inside the Wave Watch. So I don't have to work with those bottles. It makes it so much easier. So these are all different remedies, or frequencies now that you can use. And I just suggest, if you are in the middle of an emotional trauma like Kansas City is now, wow, what a loss. Everybody was watching and glued to the parade, and then all of a sudden chaos, and it's been chaos for days, And so you can wear the Wave Watch for all of these ideas. You don't just have to pick out one. You can, but it's not
right.
going to hurt you, because so many frequencies kind of cross over and can work for close ideas that are very close. We also have these emotions. Here's another one for the anger, hate, resentment. Now, this is a little bit different, but we have frequencies for all of these ideas. So literally about 10% of the ideas on the Wave Watch are, maybe I could say, for a broken heart, or for our hearts. So there's more here, and I have testimony.
Go back there. Go back. I saw something that blew my mind. Frigidity, female.
Yeah, that's an emotion. That's an emotional problem.
I know.
Yeah.
I just saw that. I'm like, okay.
Emotional ties to diseases, and if you are a Wave Watch user already or looking at it, thinking about buying it, these are, they say the same thing: 1, 2, 3, emotions and sleep, 1, 2, 3. And basically, when those designations are numbered, it just means that there's a lot of frequencies that could cover that. So there are about 30 frequencies in a lot of the ideas. Now, the Bach remedies are just one frequency, but these that I'm showing you are about 30 frequencies in a set. And there were 7 or 8 different major organizations that measured frequencies and published them. And so basically, this is just a different designation, so one of these might help you more than the other, or maybe all 3 of them help you. We don't know. So you can use all of them. You don't have to pick one. Play them all. Let them all play. And then, I have a friend that wakes up in the middle of the night, or maybe even when she goes to bed, she just knows to play, OCD, because her mind wakes up. And that describes me once in a while. You wake up in the middle of the night and your mind is just racing. I put on OCD and it does help. And so does my friend. She's the one that told me that it worked for her. And then PTSD is huge. Huge.
Yep.
And just like I was sharing the other day, I didn't know until I did a little bit of studying for this presentation here. They are saying that we have more women with PTSD than we have men with PTSD. And who would have thought that?
Wow.
Doesn't that kind of blow you away, with all our veterans that we know have PTSD, but now they're saying women have PTSD. So anyway, these are some emotions.
I did not have this downloaded. I'm downloading the whole thing now. Bach. I did not have that.
Which one?
The Bach one. I didn't have it. I didn't have any of these. None.
They are in the emotions icon.
Yep, I found it. I love it.
Yep, there you go. So now you can add those, and the Bach ones are great. And then the other thing that has been added to the emotions folder is the chakras. Those are huge for emotions. Remember the heart chakras, 432. And so you have those that you can play through also. They are hard to hear because they're just one frequency. And then also we have the solfeggio frequencies in the emotions. So I don't have those listed for this program, but that's how we have about 10%. And all of those, or any of them, can be played over and over on a loop, however you'd like to play them, So kind of important to emphasize our emotions in times of stress. And Chris, you know it. You just gave so many ideas and testimonies.
Hold on, not to cut you off, but that goes back to control. So you didn't hear this. So this is pretty cool. So what I was thinking was, my mindset when I was going through, when I was hearing that I was being diagnosed with cancer, people said, how did you, like, that split second, what were you thinking? And literally the way I put it is Control Alt Delete. So when you hit Control Alt Delete on a computer, what happens, Linda?
Yeah, you wipe something out. Yeah.
Well, it restarts.
Okay. Restarts. Okay. That's right. Okay.
So if you hit Control Alt Delete with your heart mentally, okay, and emotionally, right? How they go in sync.
Yes.
Then you get to control your emotions, especially if you have a wave watch, right? And
Right.
then you also alter what is coming at you. You alter your action and your reaction. Because other than your action reaction, there's nothing else you can control, right?
Mhm. That's
That's
right.
it.
Yep.
And then delete any negativity. And so our bodies are frequency, right? And
Right.
we're like a computer,
Mm.
right? So if we restart our heart, control alt delete, okay, I restart. Now you start all over again.
I
And
love
so
it.
I'm teaching people this control alt delete. I'm putting it in my speeches while I'm touring because I really want people to understand that you can restart, right? And that's why I came up with restart your heart. So go ahead. It goes in line with
Perfect.
what you're. Yep.
Yeah, and this is kind of what you're saying too. People will say, "Well, when do I play them? When's the best time?"
Mhm.
And so I would encourage you to learn a little bit about the Chinese body clock. Now, there's all kinds of charts online. It's really called the Chinese body clock, but here's one that's been simplified a little bit. They just call it the human body energy clock. And then for every 2 hours in the day, what we've copied from the Chinese who've known this for thousands of years is that a certain organ or organ systems are more in charge of your body, and they're doing, their work then, they're cleansing, they're, that kind of thing. And so the heart, when you want to play frequencies, usually is from 11 to 1. Isn't that
Mm-hmm.
interesting? That's the best
Mm-hmm.
time to play some of those emotional frequencies. Or if we have time to get to it, some of the physical frequencies for physical problems. But hard ideas, that's huge. And some people are into this a little bit, but they know that if they wake up from 1 to 3 in the morning all the time, that they've got liver problems. And see, this
Yep.
goes right along with Chinese medicine. We need to be delving into this and learning more about this. The lungs, more people, I'm sorry, pass away from 3 to 5
Yep.
in the morning because their lungs just quit. So if you're having lung problems, if you can, the best time to play those is that time right there to beef them up just a little bit. And so it goes on and on. So these are great. They actually have real clocks you can put on the wall to show you this. You could print a chart up and
Oh
you can
wow.
take your pick. I picked this one because of the color. It was easy to read. But
Yep.
that's a great way to kind of remind you, if you're having large intestine problems, this is what happens from 5 to 7 in the morning. We all know that, we make our bathroom visit. So, if you're having some
So
problems, that's when you run those frequencies. Doesn't that make sense?
yep, I love that. So if you look at liver's between 1 and 3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found out about taking fish oil. And I always thought you take your omega threes during the morning, afternoon, whatever. No, you want to take them at night. And I never knew that, but you have it right here, a detox right here between 1 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so omega 3 is liver, right? And so that is why you take it there, then in the morning. So, and it took me 40 something years. I thought you take it, during the day. I had no idea. And then I found out, no, you take it at night.
And if you're having this triple warmer is actually talking about the thyroid, the hypothalamus, and that's what it's talking about. And so if you're having those kind of problems and your pineal gland, that's when you can play
Mhm.
those ideas. So I think it's always kind of interesting to learn just a little bit more so you can tweak what you're doing. But don't be afraid to play emotional frequencies any time of the day or night. It doesn't
Right.
matter. But the best time might be, between 11 and 1 for you. I was just trying to point that out just a little bit because people, sometimes want just a few more ideas on when to use the wave watch. But again, it's just a frequency. I mean, honestly, if you're listening to an Elvis song that you love, a love song from Elvis, does it matter whether you're hearing it at, 3 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon? You're going to be, it's going to speak to you, if you need that. So play it anytime, but this might be another idea. So, Chris, I'm not sure where we're doing on time. We really got into this, didn't we?
We're doing great. We have 6 minutes. So throw that again. Some people texted me. They said, how do I get the watch? So you go to wavewatch.com. Linda is so gracious. She's given a gift. Anybody and everybody that receives this will, if you put flex 100 in the discount box, you will receive $100 off. Thank you, Linda. That is such a gracious gift. And I love it, man. Like I said, I wear it. I wear it to bed. That's why I was charging it this morning. I totally forgot to have it on. But as soon as I wake up in the morning, I charge it. I'll be going to the gym. I won't wear it in the gym. Sometimes I have left it on in the gym. I have a question. In the sauna, can I wear it in the sauna?
I would rather you wouldn't because it's still not perfect with moisture, and you don't want to get it wet. It's a tool that, isn't as tight as an Apple Watch. I can't say that, So you're trying to avoid any water damage. So,
but I mean, let's talk about Apple Watch, right? Because somebody asked me, "Hey, Chris, so is that a big Apple Watch?" Okay, first of all, dumb. The Apple doesn't make them this big. Okay. Number 2, what does an Apple Watch do? Well, you can answer your phone. But you have to pay monthly on that. Okay, that is the key. You get your messages. Okay. If I have my phone, what the hell do I need my watch to get messages? Measures your heartbeat, your steps, things along that line, right?
Right.
Look what this does.
1,000 things.
1,000. So no matter what you have, no matter what you're going through, from head to toe, it doesn't matter. You go to your wave watch, boop, 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 tap. Like, I didn't even know all those emotions were in that.
Yeah.
And I just downloaded it. You can detox. Now, that doesn't mean you stop detoxing if you're detoxing anything else. No, but you do it in rhythm with or in accordance to. People go, what should I do? The wave watch or the mushrooms? No, you do both.
Both.
You do both. Right? I eat protein.
I have supplements. I have tons of things. Yeah. I eat correctly,
Yeah. Yeah. So, you do both. And I love that you don't have to choose. It's not, should I choose this or should I choose that? No, you do both. This is something that is going to change your life. It is going to make a difference in your life. I believe, just me, looking at the tea leaves, my discernment, I think the next disease, which they say is X, I believe it's got to do with rabies. And I believe that it is going to attack our nervous system. And if you think of like Bell's palsy, Justin Bieber, I just did a thing on Justin Bieber. Do you know what he has? It's called Ramsay disease. If you look at Ramsay disease and you look at rabies, it is
I did not know that, Chris. I learned something every time from you. Wow.
Yeah. And so, you're talking about the neurological system now. Now you're talking about frequency. Because when you talk about the zombie apocalypse, I think of rapid, right? Like, I looked at the Super Bowl real quick. And I saw Fire and Ice. Okay, so I saw Fire and Ice, and I saw Usher ushering in Luda, Lewd, Violent, right? I'm like, oh, you're a lunatic, right? You're violent, rage, right? When a rabid dog, Cujo, is what? Violent, rage. What is a zombie? A violent, rage. The movie Cell, real quick, I'm just touching upon this, and I'm trying to put this in perspective for people. But if you watch the movie Cell, Frequency goes over the phone, they're in the airport, pick it up, they start killing one another. Violent, rage. So when you think about, oh, well, we're going to go to war, we're going to have bombs. No. They want us to go after one another. And it's very, very funny that Justin Bieber was asked to be with, he is Usher's protege. I don't know if you know that. And he turned it down. Now, he was at the Super Bowl, but he did not go on stage with Usher. Why is that? I believe there was a ritual going on, Fire and Ice. I believe that we have an eclipse coming up. In 50 days, 51 days here in Texas, I know, right? So I think that has a lot to do with it. And the reason I'm tying this in is because your frequency, your wave watch will be able to be a part of protection from whatever is going to happen. If it's neurological, Bell's palsy, boom. Right? Ramsey, boom. Parkinson's, boom. My cousin who has Parkinson's, I'm going to send him the watch. I want to see how he does with this. I'm waiting for him to get off those mushrooms from his Rockefeller doctor. And then he'll be on my mushrooms, and I'm going to send him the wave watch. And I want to see how somebody with that Parkinson's acts. So, Linda, you're a sweetheart. You are a genius. You are a breath of fresh air every time you go on. Thank you so much. I'm going to have you on again. And maybe next time we'll talk about neurological. We can get that.
We can do that.
Definitely. And thank you so much. Appreciate you, and I'll talk to you later.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
God bless. Guys, that was Linda Bamba. Remember, wavewatch.com. Put Flex 100 in. Save $100 off. Guys, have a blessed weekend. I will see you on Monday. Remember, I love you.